Hi, this is Jen Johnson, and this is my case study presentation on parental apathy for EDL 856. On problem identification analysis for what do I know? I know that the assistant principal, Mrs. Rose, is a fresh pair of eyes and new to the profession. The principal in charge seems to have a negative viewpoint of parent involvement, and it seems like that negative outlook is based on previous experiences. The assistant principal, Mrs. Rose, is passionate about improving parent involvement, and only 8 parents showed up to the meeting that was held at the school. For what I need to know, I need to figure out why there were previous experiences that were negative. What was the reasoning behind this? What caused the parent involvement to go down? What went wrong in those previous attempts that caused the dissolvement of previous parent organizations? And what are the community's concerns about school? The other question I need to know is what is the best way to get parents in my community motivated to become parts of these parent organizations again? What is the best method of communication with parents? I think this is a very important part to figure out if email and social media communications work best, or if regular mail contact, or if phone call person to person is the best method of communication. In identifying the problem, I believe there are 3 different parts. At John F. Kennedy School, there's a serious lack of parent involvement and parental support. Communication is a problem, and there are no current organized parent groups for the school. And morale between staff and parents is low. My plan of action is to meet with the parents that are present for the meeting. These 8 parents that showed up have obviously shown an interest and show that being involved in their students' life and with their school is important. And I believe that we could use those 8 parents to establish a core group of parent support to grow our parent support. With this group, I believe we can determine why attendance is so poor, why we have only 8 parents that have shown up for this, and assess the communication tactics that were used to improve communication. There was a memo that was sent out and information that was sent out, but maybe there are other avenues that would be better to promote parent attendance. The second thing that I would do is collaborate with staff regarding parental involvement. This includes establishing why parental involvement has decreased, brainstorming with the staff on ideas to promote parent involvement, different activities, maybe a family game night, and other ways that we could work on getting parents to come in and be involved in their students' education. And I would also establish a staff grouping for a parent support committee. And although at this time the principal is not on board with starting any type of PTA group, in the future, if that does become a possibility, this staff grouping that would be the parent support committee could also help to form a PTA organization and determine the best communication methods for getting information out to the parents in the communities. Part of this would be establishing a core staff grouping for parent communication. And that moves us on to strategies for implementation. The first thing that I would do is develop a core team of staff to focus on building parent support and involvement at school. The second is that I would utilize those 8 parents at the meeting to create a core parent team and use them as a focus group to gain information on how to motivate and reach parents. What are the parents in our school district really wanting? Why is it that they are not wanting to be involved, and what do we need to do to change that? And then also improving communications and establishing a procedure for sending information out to parents. Maybe that's a calling tree where talking to parents would work. Maybe it's a social media group, a Facebook network, a Twitter account, whatever it may be to improve the communication and get that communication out to the parents. And then I would also set up additional parent meetings that would utilize strategies for communication and parent motivation. I think this is at an additional meeting where we would talk about whether we do want to form some type of PTA organization or if we want to plan other additional activities to get parental involvement. On the resolution of the issues, we have to look at what is best for students. And I think in this situation, what is best for students is that we do need to develop a parent and teacher group to promote student success and to work on school issues. I also think having this group serve as a bridge for communication between the school and community is essential. Involving those stakeholders and getting the community and the parents of the students that are in our schools on board and in the know on what we're doing is really going to help grow the unity between our stakeholders and the school district. And also opening the lines of communication so parents feel comfortable talking with staff about issues and about their students. And I think opening the lines of communication is more than just doing increased types of communication. I think really making an effort to show that, we have an open door policy and that the assistant principal and the principal and the staff are open to having parents drop in and talk to them when there are issues that arise. The other thing that I think is important is to seek to remove that negative attitude about parent participation. The principal, said that he had tried in the beginning, but that PTA organizations had not gone well. And so I think maybe kind of creating a positive experience may supersede some of the negative attitudes. The data that I know, the principal seems to have a negative attitude about parent involvement. The principal did not want to initiate a parent group. Only 8 parents showed up to the first meeting. And the lines of communication obviously need improvement. On the debriefing, what I was thinking, I keep thinking, why has nothing been done to motivate the parents? It seems like there's kind of a defeatist attitude of, well, it didn't work well the first time and everything dissolved, so it's not going to work this time. And I think that kind of sets you up for failure in the beginning. The other thing I was thinking is, why is there such a negative attitude towards parental involvement? Maybe there was a specific situation. And so finding more information about that and being able to decipher exactly why parental involvement went down is very important. And I was also thinking that communication is such an essential part of, having good school and community relations that we need to really look into what's going on with the communication and how are we going to be able to best reach our parents and our community. During this, I was feeling really upset that the principal seemed to be justifying his negative attitude. It mentioned in the case study that he had said, I was the same as you. I tried in the beginning and it just doesn't work. And so that was something that made me upset. And I was kind of frustrated with what seems to be the overall lack of communication. Even sending out the information in the bulletin about the parent meeting seemed like a very minimal effort on the side of communication. I'm also empathetic towards the students and the missing parental involvement. I know through previous experiences personally that having a strong PTA and homeschool group really do benefit the students by having kind of an organized set of parents and coordinating people that are able to get extra resources for the school and make the school a better education environment. I valued the support of the 8 parents that showed up. That shows dedication, and I think this is kind of, indicative of the parents that are going to be the leaders that are going to step up and that are going to be willing to be in leadership positions if some type of PTA or some type of parent organization is started. And I also do value the effort that the principal was willing to put forth to have a parent meeting. I know that he kind of was a little bit down and said that, he tried and that things didn't work. But I think the fact that he was willing to put forth the effort shows that he's willing to move in the right direction. Issues that are still unresolved, there is still not the approval for the initiation of a parent group. The principal did say that he would have this meeting, but he did not give approval to start a parent group. So I think that that's an issue that still needs to be worked out. The communication is not effective in relaying information, so I think better methods of communication need to be established. And I feel like there's a lack of unity with staff and parents. And I think that's kind of an implied, but if you do not have PTA organizations, you know that there's just not as strong of a bond between staff and parents and kind of that unified take on it. And reflecting on Standard 4, which is an education leader, promotes the success of every student by collaborating with faculty and community members, responding to diverse community interests and needs, and mobilizing community resources. On component 1, I believe that if we were able to interpret the data from the parents that showed up to the meeting, the 8 parents, on ways to help students become more successful, I think that we could learn how to do things the right way this time and build a strong parent support group. Component 2, by creating open lines of communication, we kind of open that channel for parents to voice their concerns and thoughts on what things they think we could improve on as a school district, and maybe different and new ways and ideas to help motivate students and create a more successful educational environment. Component 3, I think creating a staff and parent group to create those positive relationships is definitely something that needs to be done. And then on component 4, I think using that staff and parent group to provide outreach and partnerships within the community. I think building those bridges and creating those relationships with our stakeholders is very important. Thanks.